So exactly how strong is the new Elite Defender? And I'm not talking about the 205, I'm talking about the 025, which is cross-padded with the Shrapnel, because the Shrapnel actually got some interesting changes. So the 025 is the Pierce cross-pad, or you can call it the cleanup cross-pad, in which if you go for it, that thing is gonna be really good versus small balloons, but it's gonna suck versus big balloons like Moab class balloons and such. So what Ninja Kiwi is doing is starting from the 024, the Shrapnel shot, which is the full auto by the way, the Shrapnel is getting a little bit of extra damage. It goes from 1 to 2, and then this thing also applies to the Elite Defender, which is really important. Now if you say that getting +1 damage is not a big deal, I would say you're probably generally right, but not in this case, because the Bottle Pad Sniper is a super fast attacking tower, and because it attacks super fast, we're gonna get Shrapnel procs on every single one of those shots, and that's what makes it so good, and that's why they only gave it +1 damage, because if you give it more than one, this thing is just gonna be straight up OP. But I do think that this +1 damage might be interesting to check out, so let's start by getting it. So I brought Geraldo. We're gonna use Geraldo in the Jar of Pickles in the early game, and then we're gonna stop using it. And another feature, I guess, with Geraldo and the Bottle Pad Snipers combined with the Shrapnel is that you can just keep using the Sharpening Stone, which is also gonna give it +1 Pierce. You guys probably know this already, but all the buffs that you can give to the Sniper actually apply to the Shrapnel as well, and that's really good, because if you go for something like an Alchemist or oh wait a minute, no, that's super close. All right, we get it done. Yeah, so everything basically applies to the Shrapnel, which is really nice, but you have to be careful with the Jar of Pickles, because if your tower has more than 3 damage, or I should say 3 or more than 3 damage, it's actually going to be a net loss for you, as in, well, the Jar of Pickles takes away attack speed, so we have to be really careful. So I think I'm just going to start things off with the semi-auto, but before we do that, I think we're going to go for a discount village first, because I think we've kind of stabilized at least for the early game. So alright, so let me try and greed out this thing. I'm going to get the Monkey Commerce, and then I think we should be looking at lead popping power, and something that I was thinking about, you know, just comparing this 025 Elite Defender, which is going to be good in cleaning out small balloons, comparing it with something else like the glue and the solver is the first thing that came to mind. I feel like with the latest changes and the latest buffs to the solver, oh wait a minute, no way, oh my god, okay, let's try with the Sharpening Stone. Actually, is this gonna fix it? I think just +1 Pierce might actually fix the problems that we're having, so let's see how it goes. And yeah, as I was saying, I think that the glue might be a little bit better in the amount of money that you're spending and the return that you're getting on that money, but let's see how much value we're gonna get out of this +1 Pierce, and it seems like it's a lot better than last time. I mean, we did lose to the yellows, but this time it looks like it's not even close. Yep, that's what the Sharpening Stone does for this tower. Alright, so now let's see how we do on these rounds. The money is kind of tight. The semi-auto is 2.6, which is the next thing that I want to buy, but we need to survive these early rounds. So one of the things that we could do is, I feel like we're going to lose on this round, by the way, so we have to intervene, and I'm just thinking, what do we want to do? Okay, so let's actually try like this. So the Sharpening Stone saved us on 27. Let's see if the Jar of Pickles is going to save us on this one, because the Sniper still does 2 damage, which means that if we give it the Jar of Pickles, it's going to be +1 damage, and it's going to lose 25% attack speed. So this is still a net positive for the Sniper, and let's see how much of a difference this is going to make. And I feel like it's making all the difference, guys. Look at this thing. Oh my god, and the Shrapnel is also a lot stronger. Oh no, it's barely not enough, right? Oh my god, but that's so much better. Alright, let me drop a glue. I think this is going to be fine. Just one single glue. We're going to use this thing anyways in the late game, so might as well buy right now. Oh, I didn't forget to buy the Jar of Pickles, so let's see how much of a difference it's going to make now. So I feel like, yeah, this is pretty much GG with this round, although the map is a little bit wonky. You have to be careful in the map that you're playing with the Sniper, because the Shrapnel is always hitting the balloons at the back. This Geraldo and like the Jar of Pickles and the Sharpening Stone combo, this is like a mini Permabrew Alchemist in a way. It only lasts for a couple of rounds, but this is just so powerful, especially for like these early rounds. And I just hold on a little bit longer. It's 2.6 the money for the semi-auto. The balloons are kind of starting to slowly leak, and yes, we get the money, and now I think things are going to be so much more different. Just in time, by the way, for 36. Oh yeah, look at this. 36 is out, and you know what? We can just give it another Jar of Pickles, because this is still a buff, and then once we get to the full auto, that is when we're going to get the new Shrapnel damage, and I think I'm going to rush this thing actually, because that's the change that we're trying to see. Let me just buy the full auto right now. Let's see how good this thing is. I think it actually gets like +1 damage to more plasmas. Am I right about that thing? Oh no, this wasn't even close actually. What is this tower? This is so good. Alright, we just keep doing this with the Jar of Pickles actually. Even though it's going to lose a little attack speed, this is still a net benefit. So 2 damage on the main attack, 2 damage on the Shrapnel, but it's a net buff. So let's keep using it, and then after these rounds pass, the 5 rounds of the Jar of Pickles, I think this is the green light for us to buy the Alchemist, and we're going to chill with the Pickles after that. Alright, so since this is like a mid-game tower, the 024 auto rifle, which is where the buffs are concentrated, I'm just trying to see how much damage it does and how good it performs. So like these 40s, right? And so far, what I can tell you guys is that I'm barely seeing any of these balloons like make it out. So yeah, let's watch this one. So you guys see that? Because these guys are super separated with each other. The Shrapnel, it's flying out, but it's not doing any damage to the ceramic at the back, but it is cleaning out the small balloons coming out of the 45 ceramics themselves. I think it's going to be a little bit different to 47, and actually a glue is going to be a really important tower because it's gonna clump up the Bloons right in one spot. So yeah, it's really nice. Alright, so our buffs expired, so no more Jar of Pickles, no more Sharpening Stone. We are gonna renew the Sharpening Stone, and I think this is the time at which we just buff this guy up. So I'm gonna go full out 420 on the Alchemist. Let's just give it lead popping power, give it a lot more extra damage. Now, I'm still not seeing the Bloons, but I don't think the ceramics have come out yet, or have they come out? What is happening? I'm not seeing the round. Oh my god, this thing is clearing everything out. Look at the shrapnel go, guys. I mean, we can't even see the round go out. Alright, that's amazing. And keep in mind, 49 is the most difficult round in the 40s, so we didn't even see it go out, which is exactly what you want to see. That was amazing. I guess the advantage that the sniper has over the glue is that it's global, and it also does a little bit better versus mob class Bloons. But yeah, all in all, I don't know which one is better. I think I would still go for the Solver if we were comparing tier 5s, but they do kind of different things in a way, right? So yeah, let's go for the Elite Defender because the money is almost there. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 15.8. So let's get the Elite Defender now, and also this bonus of +1 damage to shrapnel does carry over to the Elite Defender, which is really important. And now let's see how good this thing is. Oh yeah, look at the cleanup on this thing, guys. This thing is just +1 damage, but as I told you, it's so much more extra damage. Keep in mind, one of the benefits of the Elite Defender, now that we have it, is that for each % of the track that the Bloons cover, it gets +1% attack speed. So if the Bloons make it like halfway on the track, that's +50% attack speed onto this guy. So super important for the shrapnel, and you can just actually see it because this is round 62 and this thing is eating up the rounds. Like, we haven't even seen them like make it up to Geraldo or something like that. So let's see how we do onto this one. So let's just watch the ceramics. I know that the leads are, oh my god, that's not even close. The leads are a little bit annoying because relying on the AMD buff to pop them, but the ceramics, no, it just eats everyone up. So we do have the Sharpening Stone, and let's see how it does again. Yeah, oh my god, that's so good. Yeah, this +1 damage is insane. Let me get the Glue Strike. Actually, I've been wanting to do this, so I'm just gonna do it. It's like $4,000, so we don't really care that much, but yes, look at this thing. It's eating the Bloons up. Alright, so 72. I mean, this thing is not even close, guys. With the way that it's melting these Bloons, I only have an Alchemist in a 200 village, so I'm really impressed with this +1 damage. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's really a step in the right direction for this tower. Like, look at what's happening. It's not even close what this thing is doing, and we're not even fully buffing it yet. So we have the glue ability. We are gonna get an overclock right now for it, and I'm just super excited to see how this thing goes into the ultra late game, actually, when the ceramics is a little bit tougher. I have a feeling that it's gonna start losing versus mob class Bloons, by the way, so we're gonna need to do something about that in the ultra late game. But so far, this is just perfect. This is amazing. Do we even overclock? We don't need to overclock it yet, but it's ready if necessary. And look at this thing, just halfway. This is like, by the way, not even halfway through the track. This is like a quarter of a track because of the way the map works. Yeah, it's just melting all of them. Let's see how it does versus 76. This is where the shrapnel is really necessary so we don't create a regrow farm. And yes, not even close. There we go. Alright, finally, some tougher Bloons for this thing. Starting with the ZOMG around 80 is gonna eat it up because, well, the ZOMG on 80 is not a problem, but the ones on 87 might be, and then the consecutive ones after it. But finally, round 81, and we're entering free play mode, really important. So I think that we're gonna start overclocking it from about this point at the game until the end, and let's see how we do versus these guys. Now, this is very important where the shrapnel changes are actually gonna be very evident to us in a sense that if it just cleans out all these super ceramics really fast, then you know that this is like a good buff. And so far, it's looking really good, I feel like, versus the super ceramics, right? I can see the struggle a little bit versus mob class Bloons for sure, but the super ceramics don't seem to be an issue, especially because we have the glue over here. So I actually want to do something that's probably not that good of an idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'm gonna buy this thing. This is gonna be an unstable concoction Alchemist, which I think we're gonna go for the larger potions, a little bit of extra pierce. Alright, so this tower is basically a very good tower, which I think people should be using a lot more often, but it creates a lot of problems for you, so you have to be ready for it. And the thing that the unstable concoction does is it creates this explosion. All of the mob class Bloons affected explode, but they're gonna burst into smaller either mob class Bloons or just ceramics. And so the idea is that you need to be ready for them. And so I think just having this tower is actually gonna make the game a little bit more challenging for our Elite Defender and the new shrapnel buff. So yeah, I think this is gonna be fun, just giving it a little bit of an extra challenge, I feel like. Let's also give it the new Sharpening Stone, by the way, +2 pierce, which also affects the shrapnel. Yeah, this is just like so good. It's keeping like all of these mobs on 83 in place. Let's just give it the overclock, and that's amazing. I'm loving this tower and this change so far. Oh yeah, look at all these explosions and mob class Bloons. Everything is just popping and just so much damage, and this thing is just cleaning out. That's the most important thing, the fact that this guy is holding its own. I know it's only around 84, but I'm super happy the way this run is going so far, and I actually want to play around the Elite Defender. I'm gonna be honest, when I started this video, I had a different idea on how the late game is gonna look like. I wanted to buy the Sky Shredder, guys, because I knew that this guy's gonna be the cleanup, but I knew that also we're gonna need a lot of extra damage versus mob class Bloons. So I was like, I'm gonna defeat the mob class Bloons with the Sky Shredder, and then the Elite Defender is gonna be the cleanup. But I've changed my mind, so here's what we're gonna do. First off, I'm gonna get 2 more of these guys. I'm gonna get 2 more AMDs, so we can do something called AMD stacking, because the AMD buff, I'm just gonna make it 3 just in case. But essentially what this does is, since the AMD buff is not regular regulated by any sort of cooldown, or I should say internal cooldown by the game. You can just have as many as, well, not as many, there's like a limit of, I think the limit was like 40 attacks that you can stack up onto one single tower. But basically what I'm saying is that if you do this actually works in a tower, and you're gonna get the AMD buff. Let's also try and do the, oh, I found the spot, look at this, that's perfect. All right, so we can do something like this, the MIB into the call to arms. Now this is gonna be really important as well. And then what, the glue storm? Yes, let's get the glue storm for +2 damage, and maybe we can get something like an embrittlement ice for extra damage, which is all gonna stack with the sniper and with the elite defender with the shrapnel. So let's actually play around this thing and let's see how it is. It's 87, we're cleaning out all these boons, amazing. We updated our setup to something which you, well, you don't see that too often, I want to say. And let's see if we can make this thing work. So let's overclock Citron 88. Yeah, we're so far I'm not seeing any issues, guys. I think I'm just gonna, you know, fast forward these rounds a little bit. Let's use the call to arms for the first time. This shrapnel is melting everyone, that's insane. All right, and I think we're gonna get the ability back for round 90 for the DDTs, which are gonna be, it's gonna be very important that we deal with the DDTs is what I'm saying. So yeah, let's get the overclock going again. 95 is gonna be a really fun round, and 99 as well, because the DDTs are really annoying. But you guys, are you watching these explosions, by the way, from the unstable concoction? Yes, it's a double-edged sword, guys. 50k pops onto this thing. All right, so let's see how we do versus the first DDTs on 90, which is gonna be a gauge on how we do like for the rest of the game. And yeah, we need to slow or just stun these guys. That's gonna be super important. All right, so let's do a couple of things. First off, this thing just for a little extra range, plus so you can see DDTs, just give him the potion. But I'm also gonna give the potion to the sniper. This is the second one, because the potion gives, I think it's +1 or +2 extra damage versus camo balloons, and DDTs are camo balloons. So we saw how around 90 went, so let's make sure we deal with the guys at 95, and let's just watch 99. These explosions are insane. But the 025 elite defender, guys, look at this new shrapnel. Look at how many shrapnels get spawned. Yeah, these 45 mods are making it all the way. So let's do the overclock again, and let's see how we're gonna do. So it's really important that that we have the angle onto these guys so that the shrapnel actually affects them. So whenever the balloons are on the bottom track and to the left of the sniper, that is when the shrapnel is not doing its thing, because the sniper is set on first, so we might need to micro it. Let's use the call to arms on this one, then we're gonna have DDTs on the next one. But I just want to get rid of these ZMGs as fast as possible. And then I was looking at getting something like, wait, is this in range of both villages? Yes, it is. Okay, let's do it like this. Let me get a relentless glue. I think this is gonna be really important. I'm gonna set this thing to strong, so we focus on the mob class boons. This is gonna be really important for the DDTs as well. Let's do the overclock, and let's see how we're doing versus DDTs now. And this is a lot better. Yeah, look at the relentless glue. It's grouping them up, which is exactly what you want to see with this thing, right? Let's also give it the sharpening stone, because I think it expired. That's gonna be the last one for this game. And then I don't think that we need to do anything else on this round, at least. How is our guy going? Like, guys, +1 damage. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, right? It's like you're saying +1 damage is not gonna change things too much. It actually might. It actually might. All right, so 94, this is a little bit more of a serious round, so I think I'm just gonna dump all our abilities onto this one, just get it over with as soon as possible. And then for 95, we're gonna have like huge waves of purples before the actual round starts, so that's gonna give us time for the ability cooldowns to come off. Let's do the overclock as well, and let's see how we do versus this one. This is one of those beefy rounds, which is gonna be a good gauge for 96 and 98 as well. And so far, we're just melting this round, it seems like, especially the shrapnel. Like, you guys see the balloons at the back, they're always the ones getting cleaned out as well. And I'm gonna need some explosions. Let's give it up for those explosions, guys. Let's just have a couple. Yes, there we go. So some big bangs. I'm gonna need the big bangs from the ZMGs, by the way, because they do a lot of damage to the BFBs as well. That was a good one. And I think that is pretty much all 94 wrote. Yeah, there we go. Very good. Very satisfied the way things are going right now. Okay, so let me buy a Sabo, which is gonna be really important for 95, 99 as well. I think I'm just gonna keep it at 1 Sabo, and then we got all our abilities back. So let's, as soon as the DDTs appear, we're gonna use all cooldowns. So let's overclock right now, and then DDTs should be coming out in a second. There we go. Okay, so Sabo, really important, and then hopefully we can stack all of them together with the relentless glue. Just get like a mini second of stun. That's all that we need to get this round done. I'm even gonna use the glue storm actually, just to get +2 damage onto these guys, and I think that is gonna be enough. Yes, look at this shrapnel going. Look at this elite defender go, guys. It's really good. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty much. Let's just clean out these 45 mobs, and then let's go into 96, which is gonna be a really annoying round, because 96 is where trouble starts for us. So yeah, we're starting to see some 45 big balloons at this point. It's only 45 mobs on this one, but then 45 BFBs on 98. So I'm just gonna use the call to arms. This is how we're gonna start the round. Yeah, and we're just cleaning everyone out. Let me just check the pops onto this guy, because I'm really curious about how much work the alchemist is doing. 170,000 pops. That is so many pops just from explosions. But guys, this is working exactly as intended. Like, don't get me wrong, this thing is taking a lot of pops, and it's creating a mess on screen, but it is working exactly as you wanted it to. Let me get the glue storm going, by the way, get some extra damage versus these guys. And you know what, I think I'm just gonna dump all abilities, because 97 is just like 245 ZMGs, so it doesn't actually matter. We're gonna get the cooldowns back. And yeah, so far so good. It's not looking like it's gonna be close for 96 as well, so it's just gonna be the last 3 guys, 98, 99, and 100. That's gonna be where the fun is. All right, so 98 right on time with the overclock cooldown coming out. And what I'm gonna do for this one, I'm gonna use all abilities at once, and then we can use a redrift if necessary. But because this entire round comes out at once generally, so like the ZMGs and the 45 BFBs, that is the reason why I'm using all abilities like that. And then I think we're just gonna have to use a redrift eventually. But look at what's happening. Look at what's happening when the abilities are active. Like this round is just getting handled. It's getting controlled. Let me check it. Oh my god, 280,000 pops on this thing. Like this thing got like 100k pops in one round. That's insane. Let's just redrift, by the way, so we don't mess it up. So another overclock, another Sabo. I think. Oh wait a minute. I just saw something interesting with Geraldo's levels. Let's just watch this round for a second, and I think he's gonna get level 20 on the next one. So I think this is a green light for us to use this redrift as well, by the way. But look at these explosions from the Alchemist. 334,000 pops. This is insane. And you know what's also good? That the Elite Defender is actually handling it. That's amazing. Okay, so let's redrift before the round ends because Geraldo is gonna get level 20. There we go. So entire shop restocked, and we get all our cooldowns back. Let's use all the abilities. I'm actually gonna wait just a second with the Sabo for these 45 DTs to come out, and there we go. And I think, yes, this is insane. This is so good. Such a good tower. Like you might say it's just +1 damage, and it is, but the value that this thing has is just so much because of how fast it's attacking, and I'm really happy that it did this. Let's do one more redrift, by the way. This is gonna be the last one, but we're not gonna need any more. So let's do the Glue Storm. I'm gonna use the Cult Arms as well, and then when this thing pops, we're gonna be ready with the Sabo to take care of the deities. And let me just have like an Environmentize like this. You can buy one more here at the back, by the way, as well, but let's just wait for the pop. Yeah, there we go. I don't think we're gonna need any more embrittlements. There it is. It actually did it. This guy, the Elite Defender 025. This entire game went completely different as I imagined it at the start. Like as I mentioned, I wanted to get the Sky Shredder, but no, this guy seems to be more than enough, and I'm especially impressed by the cleanup that he can do now. Have you guys tried this guy out? Like how did he perform in your game? Like this +1 damage, did you actually notice it? Let me know how it went in the comments. But that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.